Welcome back to the final day of our E3 coverage with RnR. Today we still have Peter.
Hello.
Dave is still alive.
Hello.
And Tom's back to join us, sadly.
You know leprosy.
Yes, and I'm Matt. To start off today, we have Rayman Legends. Dave, I think you're covering that one.
I watched over it, and to me it looked a lot like the DuckTales.
Woo!
From yesterday. And I can only say it most certainly seemed a lot like that, and I'm actually pretty excited because it's been a long time since we've actually had a really good Rayman, and it's shaping up to be a pretty good looking one, especially since you have like the Viking redheaded girl in it, which is kind of cool.
She seemed like the Tiny Tina of Rayman.
It did.
Alright, after that we had Bayonetta 2 for the Wii U.
Oh,
Anybody
boy.
pay a lot of attention to that
Not
one?
on console.
I
Like
actually
a real console.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I watched the entire thing actually.
Yeah,
Oh.
they went into depth with the gameplay today, or I guess not went into depth, but they showed a whole lot more gameplay today than they did any other day. I mean, I really thought it was shaping up to be your run-of-the-mill hack and slash, but the stuff they showed was honestly just like graphically outstanding.
Yeah, it looked absolutely gorgeous. The gameplay seemed really, really smooth, and assuming that it wasn't my internet, the amount of effects that were going on in the screen didn't seem to slow down the action at all. So hopefully, or at least on the Wii system, it won't stutter and lag at all. And for once, since the old Nintendo days, Nintendo is actually starting to put half-nude girls in their video games again.
Gasp.
Gasp.
So am I the only one that noticed in the Rayman trailer that little redhead chick has really bouncy tits?
Probably.
I'm sorry, I had to bring it up. I just watched it.
Oh, God.
Anyway,
continue.
speaking about the tits,
The
back to
reason I
Bayonetta.
say that is because it's supposed to be a kid's game, right? So
Not
why
really.
even...
It's bringing.
I see it
it's
as
bringing
more of a
mature
kid's game.
It's bringing mature gaming to Nintendo.
Yeah.
I still see Rayman as like a kid's game.
Oh no! Wait, whoops. Never mind. It's Rayman.
Yeah, I wasn't talking about
Already confused. That's a good start.
Anyway, like the only thing I had to complain about in Bayonetta, like the scenery was great, the fighting platforms were great. It really seemed like the whole game was about basically punching and kicking long enough to get what they I want to call it the Umbrian climax.
Yes, the Umbra Climax.
Umbra, sorry. They I mean the whole thing was basically just like building up this bar until you could do this one move, and then all of a sudden you hit laser whips.
You didn't have laser whips. It was demons coming out of your hair.
Oh, my apologies.
Not coming out of her hair. Her hair is her weapons.
Her hairs are closed, apparently,
It's
too.
still coming out of her hair, though.
No, her hair is making the demons. It's not coming out of it.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Regardless, I don't know.
The demons are made of her hair. Everything is her hair. Except for the guns on her boots.
Are her
I don't
boobs
think
her
those
hair?
are her hair.
Then when the demon escaped her hair and started attacking her, that was her hair. And then when the bigger creature escaped from her hair and killed the other blob of demon hair, what?
Dave, I think you're utterly confused.
No. I watched the entire thing. If everything is made of her hair, then...
Not everything. Her weapons, her abilities, they're all from her hair.
Which she summoned a demon from her hair that consequently escaped and started attacking her on a skyscraper, of which she beat the shit out of it for, I don't know, a good 5-10 minutes. And then she summoned a bigger demon out of her hair, of which devoured that other demon.
Can we talk about that boss fight cinematic freaking with the dragon though. That was
Yeah,
freaking great.
it was. It was actually really cool. I really liked it a lot. I love big bosses.
Okay. Alrighty. Well, after that, we had Elder Scrolls Online, which is continuing to be one of my favorite things that they've shown. It's coming out for the Xbox One, PS4, PC, and Mac.
Oh boy.
So, you got a couple of choices, and that's coming out spring of 2014. The cool thing that they just recently announced was first person, like you've had in all of the other games. There was third and first, so you can play it like in old Elder Scrolls if you want to. It's a quick transition from playing Skyrim to Elder Scrolls Online, and it just looks amazing. What they announced were you have a lot of creativity when it comes to developing your own character. There are 4 initial classes that you can start with, and then every single race has their own skill tree.
Right.
And then you have 3 skill trees for each class, plus every time you join a guild, like the Mages Guild or Fighters Guild or any of those, you get another skill line. So you can build whatever kind of character you want. And then they also announced PvP is going on where in the land where Oblivion took place.
Yeah.
Totally gonna
Sure,
phone
though.
your face, Matt.
Oh, I'm going to sit all over your face.
Fat ass.
Yeah.
Are you gonna tell him that you love him too?
Me or him?
Tell
I'm
me
a
you
bug-
love me.
Yeah, they announced the PvP in Cyrodiil. It seemed really cool because they basically said that the entire PvP campaign is going to be centered around 3 factions in Cyrodiil.
Yep.
And apparently the whole point is to get your faction leader crowned king.
Crowned
Which-
Emperor. Get that right, bitch.
I'm sorry?
I said crowned Emperor.
Oh, right.
Get that
Emperor.
right, bitch.
That's right, bitch.
I mean, which obviously was a real point of contention in Oblivion, so it's going to be interesting kind of doing that same thing.
Yeah.
The
another
two things that I
Sorry.
noticed about at least the gameplay today was there was a spell that was a giant chain that you attached to an enemy and it dragged them towards you, Scorpion style.
Get
which I thought that was really, really cool. And the lock system for chests looked different, but it also looked kind of harder because from what I saw, you drag the pin down until it's good, I guess, until it like clicks into place.
Right.
Which, if you just drag it down till it clicks into place, that looks like it would be kind of easy. So I'm assuming it's not just that, but from what I could tell, it was just that. But it looked good.
It also looked like it was timed. There's a progression bar at the bottom that was ticking down.
Yeah.
Huh. I didn't notice
But-
that.
Yeah. But another thing that they said was it's about 150 hours on average to get from 1 to 50.
Wow.
And even when you do that, that's only a third of the story. Because you can restart with another one of the 3 factions, so you're a third done when you get to 50. And when you restart, you can restart with another faction and stay level 50. So everything just moves up to your level at 50, and then they're like, okay, then you have a 50 plus and a 50 plus plus for levels, which was it was a cool idea. I'm kind of curious how to see how that'll flesh out in the end.
I'm assuming it's going to work. At least I'm hoping it's going to work exactly like how Chrono Trigger did when you started a new game plus. That just all the enemies and all the items, everything just ramped up to your level and made it that difficulty. But it was also still fun. I'm going to assume it's like that.
Yeah. Okay, following that, we had Outlast. It was yet another survival horror film, like game. But
Yeah.
the thing about this one was you're a reporter, and there is no action for you. You do not do any combat. You just run the hell away from things that are trying to attack you. And you're basically doing the entire story through your phone.
Yeah.
Like you see him anytime he turns around, he brings the phone up to the middle of the screen, and you can do night vision and all that stuff from it, which was
So-
kind of different. I know the fact that the reason that there's no combat, they just felt like doing that, just being different, which is cool in essence, but that's gonna suck at times.
Yeah.
Honestly, the entire game itself, from what I've seen, it looked like a modern day Blair Witch Project, which I had close to no interest in doing anything like that.
Yeah. I mean, the game looked pretty nice. The developer that was talking about it definitely highlighted the good points of the game. I wasn't super impressed. I mean, it didn't have like the depth of experience that it feels like things like Amnesia have had. Honestly, at least for what they showed in the trailer, it kind of seemed like you just jumped from jump scare to jump scare.
Yeah, but that's what you do with the horror.
Well, I mean, that's why I brought up things like Amnesia. I mean, they have a really good way of like bringing up the tension while you're playing the game.
Yeah. There are other horror games that I'll mention later, but this one kind of seemed most lackluster out of the group, sadly.
Yeah.
It's a great idea, just I don't know. I've got no
I
thoughts
think
on it.
Amnesia is another one of those games that Matt just doesn't know what it is.
Amnesia is one of those games that I don't know what you're talking about. I was continuing to talk about Outlast though. So suck a dick. Following up on that, we have our little duo of Final Fantasy 14 and 13 Lightning Returns. With 14, it's called A Realm Reborn because it is a recreation of the MMO Final Fantasy 14. What they said was they like right when it came out of the gate, it was a shitty game, hands down. There were so many issues with it, and then they shut down the servers in November and immediately started doing alpha tests for A Realm Reborn. And this time around, they brought in the community of all of the people that played 14 and got all of their input and have been trying to make as many improvements on it that they can help with. Some of the things that they said were there's going to be more classes to help. So instead of just having your white mage and having that one single white mage out of a group of 100, you have all of these other classes for it. There's also an armory system, which it isn't what you'd normally think of when you say the word armory system. What it does is it allows you to take skills and other things from the other classes and make them your own and make and develop your own custom character.
Huh.
And then chocobos. You got companions as chocobos this time. So they can fight alongside you.
Yeah, you could do that.
They showed
in
it fighting
13
like
too.
the small little whatever rabbit thing, and I thought that was hilarious. And the good thing about that is that another good thing is if you played Final Fantasy 14, if you want to, you can import the characters that you had on that into A Realm Reborn, so you don't have to start over right at the beginning.
Did they say whether or not the rebuild is going? Is it effectively the same studio redoing their own game, or did they get?
Yes.
Okay.
They have a few new developers within their company helping them. But that comes out in August on the PS3 and PC. The beta for the PS3 starts tomorrow. I know I just got my code today. I got to figure all of that shit out. But it'll also come out in the spring with the PS4. That'll be fun to play as well. And then following up on that, we had Final Fantasy XIII, Lightning Returns, which is the ending of the trilogy or Lightning Saga. They said using this game, they want to wrap up everything for her. So the storyline for this one is she has 7 days to save the world. Yeah. And you do a bunch of quests, and when you complete those quests, it gives you more time to save the world. and they said that you could get up to 13 days to do this. It's much more action-oriented than the other Final Fantasy 13s. And the other huge thing is Lightning is the only playable character.
Really?
Yeah, it's just her.
I mean,
But
it
I'm
looked
sure she
gorgeous.
has her
It looked
summon.
gorgeous, and it seemed like a good deal of fun to play. Like, I didn't play the others, but I would think about playing this one just because of what they showed.
yeah, I mean, I didn't play it either, but I think we can go to Dave and Tom to see whether or not there was some story that they needed to expand on there and wrap up.
I played 13 and 13-2. I beat both of them. What's really kind of confusing me is how they're going to do that when supposedly at the end of 13-2, Lightning dies.
Womp womp.
So, spoilers.
How dare you?
Yeah, maybe it's like her time in Valhalla while Sarah and Noel were doing their thing. That's kind of what I get as an idea of where they're going with this game. But
Couldn't tell you.
yeah, I don't know. And I think that she should have her summon, or Odin, more commonly known as.
Don't know. Following that, we have our second horror game for the day. But the guy that helped on this one had a giant beard. Name of this game is Daylight. This was the really creative horror game that I just loved the idea. Don't know how it's going to flesh out. What it is the guys that made it originally designed it as a tech demo. So every single time you go into the game, regardless of if you're starting a new game or just loading it back up, it generates the world right then. So you're never going to have the same experience when you get on.
Huh.
Like, that was the really cool thing. And they showed it off to PlayStation, and they were like, great, let's turn this into a game, make it a horror game. So yeah, there's not really a lot. There was not really much told on this game other than the tech that it was supposed to be based on. And they gave us a release area time period for this being Q1 of 2014, and it'll probably be a downloadable game on the PlayStation. Yeah. But another game that I'm pretty excited about, Splinter Cell Blacklist. Takes place 6 months after Conviction, which was my favorite Splinter Cell game. Mostly
Never
because it
really
was the
got into
easiest.
them.
Well, they were difficult as shit.
Yeah. And I know they kind of decided that they had a little period where they're like, fuck difficulty, we're going to become a first-person shooter campaign.
Oh, it was loads of fun. I know the co-op was wonderful. They've told us that there's going to be 14 different co-op maps, but unlike Conviction, you can still play you can play most of these solo. They didn't say how many you could or could not play, but they said that you could play most of them solo. And then it looks amazing, and they supposedly added more fluid motions to it, so it feels
More realistic?
yeah, exactly, more realistic. And there's an auto jump feature that they added, so you don't have to come out of sprint and try to jump over things. You just keep on going. And then they fixed the mark and execute so that you don't have to walk up to a person, hit him in the back of the head, and knock him out every time you every time you did a melee in Conviction. That's when you got a thing for mark and execute. This time, every time you kill somebody, that bar goes up 1/4 of the way. So it allows for I guess just easier use of it. If you feel like running and gunning, that's more your area of expertise for it. And it comes out August 2013. I'm buying it day one. I know Nate'll join me on that one.
Yeah, we're actually, it's surprising to me just how close we are to some of the release dates for some of the stuff we're seeing. It's,
it is good E3. Not gonna lie.
Kind of like this year, it's like surprise birthday present.
Okay, next up we have the next FIFA 14. I love it.
All you, Matt.
Yeah, that's all me. Only sports guy.
Well, I wouldn't say that. You're the only one that likes soccer.
Football. Get it right, bitch.
We're in America.
Foosball?
Still football. Okay, they're bringing in the Ignite engine that they're using for all of EA's sports games, which is really exciting. The things that they talked about were everybody has full awareness of what's going on. So when they were doing the gameplay demo, somebody would go in for a tackle and you'd actually jump over their leg at times. Like you would know what was going on. The player would know that the leg is coming in right here. You're going to jump over it instead of in old FIFAs you'd hit their leg and go on a tumbling, which really sucked.
Face plant.
And then there's like body positioning, so when you're trying to steal a ball, you can actually move in front of the other player and take it pretty easily. And then a big thing was the announcement of finesse headers. There's been finesse shooting for a really long time. I know I've stayed away from it because I suck, but Dalston's really good at it. Finesse headers are going to allow you to head the ball wherever you feel like heading it. Like if you if you're going off of a corner, kick it in, you can either go close or far crossbar. It's going to be awesome. I'll cut it off there. I could go on for days.
Sadly, however, we can.
Yeah. Next is Warframe for the PS4. It is currently a PC game, and they're doing it on Steam as a beta right now, and it's free to play. They're thinking about doing cross-platform, so when it comes out on the PS4, you can play with people on the PC. The one thing that immediately caught my attention, Space Ninja. You play as a fucking Space Ninja. It looked ridiculous overall. It looked really fun, looked beautiful, and they're saying that it's either a mix between Mass Effect and Ninja Gaiden, and then others were saying it kind of looks like PSO. Which, if you're Dave or myself, you really like that.
Yes.
Yeah, and then they followed up on this with some more Mad Max showing. They really did not go into any detail on it other than stating it's a massive open world action adventure game. And it comes out in 2014. Yeah. You got something, Peter?
I mean, the only thing I can do is hope that they do something to differentiate it from other games like Rage.
Dude, Rage was the shit.
I mean, Rage was great, but when you take a series like this, from so long ago and try and translate it into a game, they're not going to be super dedicated to the plot line of the movies. They're not going to. I mean, I don't think they're going to go too hard on the universe that it's from. So I really hope that they add some good gameplay mechanics and don't leave us with the usual quality we see out of game-based or movie-based games.
Yeah. We're just hoping that it's not going to be shitty, I guess.
Yeah, I guess that's
that's all you can think about. It's tough going in between books and video games, books and movies, movies and books, movies and games. Those are just really... It's difficult to translate from one to the other.
And, I mean, it's kind of a double-edged sword, because no matter what you do, people who love the movie are going to be mad if you make the game different, and people who could give a rip less about the movie and want to play the game are going to be mad if the mechanics suck.
Well, I mean, the good thing about that is the people that really loved the movies are old. It's been a while since we've had a Mad Max. I know I could have sworn that they were planning on rebooting the series. I remember hearing about that a while ago, but I haven't heard about it recently.
I mean,
and then randomly they're like, "Oh, it's a video game instead." Okay. Whatever.
Simultaneous launch of game and movie. That'd be interesting. Seen a couple of franchises try that lately.
And it hasn't worked.
Yeah, not so much.
Yeah. Next up, we have Tales of Cilia. I think Exilia. Exilia.
Excelia, yeah.
Yeah, it's another. It's coming out on the 15th anniversary of the Tales whole saga. There's been a bunch of them. They're a good deal of fun to play. I mean, they're real-time JRPGs. You rarely get those, but they're pretty cool. I've played one. Dave, have you played any?
I played the Tales of Cynthia, I think it was called.
Yeah, I've played Vesperia.
Yeah, but I love JRPGs, so I'm looking forward to this one a lot, and hoping that it satisfies some lust in being a proper RPG.
Well, sucks to be you. It comes out August 6th, exclusively to the PS3. Womp womp.
Oh,
So I can play it, but you can't. Some things that they announced for it were you get your 4 active characters in a party when you're fighting people, but you can travel around with 6 people, so you can switch out who's going to be in your active party and who's not going to be. And then another cool, interesting idea that they had was you can create a link with a character during battle, and what that'll do is like if you're attacking from the front, they'll move around the back. If you've got a healer, they'll heal you while you're attacking. If you've got a tank and you're a healer, the exact opposite. It'll you can do that with anybody that you're playing with. It seemed like it would lead to some interesting fights, but it's a bit different than most other things.
Yeah,
but it's still cool.
Yeah, it's a great idea.
yeah, that's going to be completely dependent on how smart they make the AI. I mean, if they do a really, really good job of it, it's going to be a blast. If you
Well,
have a
they're not
tank
the
who-
most easy games.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be really frustrating if you have a tank who's playing with himself while you're out there getting your butt kicked.
Oh, he's just doing the Macarena. All right. Well, next up, Total War Rome 2.
Oh boy.
I know the only other person that is excited as this or for this as I am is Reb, and Alex is not with us today. It's a shame he was here yesterday and not today when they actually had the display for Rome 2. What they announced today was 700 units.
Wow.
For Shogun 2, there was around 40 something. The map is also 4 times larger than Shogun 2, and that took place in Japan. So you got most of Europe, the northern coast of Africa, and then you're brushing up with parts of Asia. It looked huge.
So, would you say that you're brushing with the Russians?
No, not that high up.
Oh.
Shut down.
I could hear
the other thing
disappointment
was
in Jay's silence.
they brought back naval battles, which is really cool. But instead of the normal types, you can have them combined with land battles. And the best part of that is that you can ram other ships. All I could think about when they showed a ship ramming it was the scene from Animal House, and I just yelled out, "Ramming speed!" Well, anyway, that comes out September 3rd for the PC. It might be on Mac. I don't know. It's most likely going to be on Steam. That's what they've done with the past few, anyway.
Yeah.
The final game for the day is Murdered Soul Suspect. It looked different. Different. It is a detective thriller, but supernatural. So you kind of have the L.A. noir feeling to it, except you play as a dead guy. The first thing you do in the game is you solve your own murder.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, you get shot like 7 times, and then you wake up and you're a ghost hanging out as they're discussing your case. But you get to upgrade. There's an RPG element to it where you get to upgrade the powers that you have as a ghost and what you can do, which is like possession, where you can, except it's it's not real possession. It's you take over the person and you can look through their eyes or listen through their ears or have them just continue to walk around and you're just chilling in their body. But they showed off the enemies in this game, which looked like the Death Eaters from Harry Potter. And they acted the same way, but they were creepy as shit. Like, they had bright orange mouths and a glow around them, but they sucked out... I don't know. You're dead, so your soul kind of flying around, ghosty man. But when they were sucking you... Yeah. Yeah. You just kind of broke into two, and it looked like you were becoming a real person again. It really didn't make sense to me. But we'll get to see the rest of that early in 2014.
Oh boy.
Maybe just to become a real boy, he just needed a good blowjob.
I'm a real boy.
I'm a real boy.
Gotta fix that nose. He's a grower, not a shower. Well, let's start our ending segment with what was your favorite thing that was shown at E3? You can list off 2 or 3 things. If you go over 3, I'm going to kick you. Dave?
I was
go ahead.
pretty excited about Rayman, honestly.
Gay.
You're gay.
You're gay.
Now, Dave, you
It
do know we're
honestly
talking about
looked
all of
like
E3, right?
All of E3, not today.
Oh.
Dumbass.
Oh. Well, you didn't say.
I did.
Yeah, I did.
It's.
Oh.
You can go back in the audio and listen later if you feel like it.
Okay. Well, fine. Today, Rayman 3 looked amazing. It's great that we're getting platformers back up and running.
Woo!
I love platform games. Woo! Like DuckTales. I'm gonna buy DuckTales and waste however much time that is.
I will be in a party yelling at you at the same time while I'm doing the same thing.
Perfect. We can Scrooge each other.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
But
If you take my money, I'll kill you.
I'm honestly really excited about Elder Scrolls. I've been waiting for that game for a decade plus now. And I've tried multiple mods trying to get Oblivion and Skyrim to run multiplayer, and it just didn't work. And we were always super disappointed in it. And the fact that we're finally getting one is just the cherry on top of the cake. And I'm excited about it.
Cool. Tom?
Shit. Titanfall and Versus Final Fantasy.
You mean 15?
15, yeah.
I wasn't sure of the number, so I just said Versus.
Okay.
15, bitch.
Yeah.
That the age of the women you like, Dave? That noise didn't help you. That noise did not help you.
Peter?
Oh, well, I mean, pretty much every podcast we've had, I've harped on just freaking how blown away I've been by this E3. But, once again, I think if we're going by memorable moments, I think certain sections of Sony's conference stood out for a good reason. The game the game that I think looked most outstanding this E3 was Destiny. Just visually stunning, and combat looked great. And I mean, there was a lot of other stuff that was just really, really good to look at. But I mean, you guys have heard us talk about it, so.
Well, looking's for free. Touching is going to cost you.
I'm also really excited about Project Spark. That game just looks phenomenal.
Oh, it looks like so much fun.
Oh yeah.
So
If I'd have to say my top 3, it would be Elder Scrolls Online, Destiny, and DuckTales. Woo! I'd give a nod to Titanfall. That just looked wonderful. But Elder Scrolls Online and Destiny just kind of blew me away. I've loved the Elder Scrolls games since I first played Morrowind, and I've just been waiting for an MMO like that. It just blew me away. I can't wait to get my hands on it. Yeah. I know it's gonna suck because they're doing a beta for it on the PlayStation 4. Douchebags. But whatever. At least I'll get to play it on my Xbox.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any other thoughts for this E3?
Well, you're giving a
saying
nod
he's
to Titanfall.
constantly blown away.
Yeah. Your nod to Titanfall made me remember that, not because it was the best game of E3, but because it definitely, as an Assassin's Creed franchise super fan, I was definitely worried about what they were going to do with 4.
Who gives a shit? It's about pirates.
They definitely blew me away and did a lot better job, frankly, than I thought they could with boats.
At least this time you can legitimately go after booty.
Oh. I'm going to tap it. Well, anyway, thank you for listening to our E3 coverage. Check back later. We'll probably be starting to do podcasts weekly. And you can check us all out at our website, which I'm not going to fuck up again this time. Instead, I'm just going to say it's going to be in the description.
It is RisenRespect.net.
Success.
Or
Nope.
RnRgaming.com.
Either of them. I mean,
Either one.
we're so fancy we got 2.
Oh. And then we have our forums. Oh.
Oh.
Yeah. Well,
Oh.
I've been Matt.
I've been Peter.
I've been Tom, and Dave has genital warts.
And you guys are the reason I drink.
All right, later, guys.
Later.
Later.